Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Agents in the Trenches, the space and the place where we bring the real, the raw, the realities of what's actually happening in our marketplace with all our real estate agents, our team leaders, our brokers, and as you know, every week, whether I'm here or not, we have an episode of Agents in the Trenches where we bring these conversations that are, game changers, where we hear from different people that are out there, in the trenches, making things happen, looking for ways to make things happen. And we all know that the struggle is real. We all know that the struggle is real. We all know that we are all going uphill. We all know that no one is escaping the challenges that our market and many markets around the nation are experiencing. But there's one thing that is true, and that is that we are living one of the best moments in real estate. However, it is going to be the best moment for those that are massive action takers. And here's something else that I've been having conversations with different leaders in our market and talking about and saying, look, this is going to be a market for massive action takers. This is going to be a market for people that are willing to sacrifice. Like one of my coaches says, what are you willing to sacrifice? So we're going to have an incredible conversation today with someone that is in the trenches, and we're going to learn about this person's story. We're going to learn about this person's trajectory. We're going to learn about the things that this person has had to do to get to where they are in real estate. And I'm always so excited to bring different people on that are willing to share their playbook, to be an open book, to really bring, the real. I always say the real, the raw, and the reality, because as you all know, there's so much fiction in social media, right? We see everybody shining and everyone just looking like they're crushing it. But at the end of the day, there's a reality behind the scenes. Once you pull back the curtains, right? Once you go behind the scenes, there's a day-to-day reality. So as usual, I am going to bring up my frontline runner with me, my very own Talia. How are you, Tali?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and here we are in another session of Agents in the Trenches. And as always, like I was telling our audience, whether they're watching on live or replay, whether I'm here or not, Agents in the Trenches is always going because we are committed. We are committed. So tell us a little bit about you this week. What are you working on? What's cooking?
Yes, well, first of all, yeah, Agents in the Churches has been awesome. I mean, all of the guests that we've been bringing on with their perspective and their stories, I mean, it's been really, moving and motivational. So I love this. I love what we're doing here, and I love, just the difference that we're making, right? But nothing, I mean, this week has been crazy. We just got back from
We
a
have been
cruise not too long
nonstop.
ago.
Tell us about that. Tell us a little bit
Oh
about.
my gosh, it was incredible. I mean, that was my first time going on a cruise. So, not only was that like, in itself special, but just the crowd of people that we were surrounded with our senior partners and our, agent partners as well. I mean, it was so cool to connect and meet these people that are doing big things, and just, and also seeing them in a different environment. We were talking a little bit earlier about how, it is one way to, meet people in like a professional environment, right?
Yes.
And then there's another way to see people in like a fun environment. And so
Yes.
it was so cool. I mean, I had such a great time, and I'm so grateful for you, Lucy, too, because I mean, that wouldn't have been possible if you didn't gift me that, right? Because you didn't have to do that, and you did, and I'm so beyond grateful for it.
When my senior partners said we are going to be going on a cruise to kick off the year, of course I said I'm there because I had committed to surrounding myself with winners this year. I had committed myself to going the extra mile and really incorporating myself with my senior partners and partaking of everything that they were doing. And for me, it was a no-brainer. But then I said, what's going to happen if I don't take Talia? I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell her all about the wonderful experience, but I already know that I'm only as good as the people that surround me. So we've got one of my senior partners here, Rebecca, live. So I'm so happy to have you. But
Hi,
yeah,
Rebecca.
We kicked off the year. We're literally closing the second weekend of 2024, and we've done so many things. I just got back from Colombia, then went out to Puerto Rico, then got back and went on the cruise to the Bahamas, which was a total experience, unforgettable. Wow. We learned that we are stallions, right? We are
Yeah.
stallions and we have things to do as stallions. And then this morning we were at a great realtor event because we said we got to be around the people. Tell us what you learned about this morning. It was so incredible. I thought that was really interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest, I think my biggest takeaway from this morning was what you said something, and it stuck to me. It was like you don't know how much of an influence you're making in other people's lives until you see them like later on, and you see what they're doing. You're like, oh shoot, I was a part of her story in one way or another, and that was very impactful because it's true. Like we're going through the motions, we're doing our thing, right? And you don't know. It's just like maybe you even said just one thing to that person and it changed their whole trajectory, right?
Yes.
So that was such a huge thing that I took away from this morning. So,
Aww.
yeah.
Well, speaking of making an impact and speaking of, leaving a legacy and speaking of, the things that we're doing in our community, we have a phenomenal guest that I saw something that she was doing. It caught my eye. You never know who's watching, people. You never know who's watching. In this case, Lucy Quinones was watching, and I said to you, Dali, reach out to her. I want to hear her story. I want to know about what she's doing. I want to know who she is, what she's all about. And so, why don't you introduce our guest for today on Agents in the Trenches?
Awesome. Yes, I spoke to her in our, first conversation, and I loved everything that she was telling me. So with pleasure, I would love to introduce Jannett to the stage. How
Ah,
you doing? Oh,
that's,
you're on mute.
yep, I just opened up her mic. You're good. You're good. Hey, Jeanette, how are
Hey,
you?
Lucy, how are you?
Good to see you here on Agents in the Trenches.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's an honor. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for accepting the invitation. And I know that once you accepted the invitation, I jumped on a call and I spoke with you. And I also was like, wow, I want to know more about this Latina who is, joining the new generation of real estate agents and who is here to make a difference and who is here to, make her mark. So no one knows Jannett better than Jannett. So give us the good, everything you're doing, the wonderful about you and who you are and where you're at, and just tell us about Jannett.
Okay. So I started real estate by the end of December, and ever since I loved it. But every time I was in every brokerage, I knew that there was something in every brokerage that something was lacking, Something was lacking that agents need nowadays. And I was like, okay, I never thought of becoming a broker in those times. But then in my 6th year of my career, I was like, okay, I want to make a change. I want to make a difference, I want to lead a lot of people, a lot of realtors in this industry that need help. They need assistance. There's a lot of brokers, but there's a lot of brokers that are, not leading the industry. So what better to become a broker and help agents succeed? So, I opened up Hustle Bees Realty.
Hustle Bees. I want to
Yes.
know how did you come up with Hustle Bees?
Okay, hustle. Realtors were hustlers, right? So we hustle 24/7. And the bees are a creative insect. They're a team. They're team players, right? So yes, there's always a queen involved, and it's a team, and they're always there in unity. Without the other bees, the queen can't produce or do what they need to do, right? So the success primarily focused on the bees. It's the
Okay.
bees that sustain. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And team player, unity. And I was like, I want to create a brokerage where I can lead, I can help, I can mentor, I can coach, but also create success. Because when you're successful, you want to give out, right? You want to give out, you want to lead. And something really important about leadership, and I've learned it, is that you have to forget about you. It's not about you anymore. It's not. It's about your team, your agents, and their success. So I think one of the biggest things as a leader is processing that it's no longer you, it's your team, and your team speaks for the leader.
I love your philosophy. Jeanette, so you've been in real estate. When did you get into real estate?
The end of December of 2015. So my career pretty much started at January 2016.
Okay, so 2016, I can think back and remember where I was in 2016. And where did your philosophy come from? Because, most people, and I've been in the industry for 23 plus years now as an agent, as a team leader, and then as a broker manager, and then a broker owner.
Right.
Most people say, I'm going to open up an office because, I'm in real estate and I just want to hire agents so that they can go and sell and, they make money, I make money, and I'm going to compete with them. And, it's just kind of like a place where
it's money. Because we're all driven by money. If we're in real estate, we're driven by money, right? But then think about it. It's not all the time about money. It's about your clients. It's about your agents. It's about, sometimes you get some impactful stories that you see a single father, a single mother, that are losing a property and they need to sell quick. And sometimes it's not about the commission itself. It's about the impact you make on that individual's life that I think is important. And when you kind of love what you do and you're passionate about what you do, and then you see your clients and then you see your agents, it's a dynamic experience and you're like, wow. So
wow, I love that. I love that. That is so powerful. And so when did you open up Hustle Bees?
I opened up, I would roughly say it was February of 2022. So okay. Our 2 years will be around February.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very honored and humbled. It's a brand that I started from the get-go. And honestly, when you start something, it's scary, right? And you always have that in your back head. What if I make it? What if I don't make it? And I think the importance of, the brokerage and everything is being an example. And if you're a leader, produce. Be a producing broker. Show them that if you can do it, mind you, I'm a mother. I have 2 kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Come on now.
And I produce, and I'm there. And I mean, if you're a broker and behind the scenes and you're just, depending on the commission of the splits and this and that, and you're not making an impact, and you're not going to make it, you're not going to impact other agents as to what is she doing that I could be successful, And I think that we're lacking this in this industry. There's so many brokers out there, but en la unidad está la fuerza. In unity, we become stronger, right? So if we collab and we network, and I'm happy I met you guys and thank you. When you reached out to me, I was like, wow, okay, I am being seen, right? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I want, So I did this brokerage, I created this, but because of this, this is what I want. I want to help agents be successful, I want to create, empower, and show them that, hey, you can do it. Nothing's impossible in life. I think that's my mission in life, to help educate and push people, honestly. And I really love it.
Oh, well, listen, let's start peeling back some of the layers, right? Because it all sounds so amazing. You just said, let me tell you what I just heard you say. And I have walked in those shoes before, right? I've been there, I've done that. You just said, I was an agent and I wanted to do more. I wanted to make a difference. I saw things that were missing. I had a vision, I had a dream, I had a desire, right? And then you said, I've got 2 little kids. I'm a mother and I'm running a brokerage. And I opened up my own brokerage and I've gone through all the doubts, all the uncertainty, all the fear, all the pain, all the things that come along with the journey of launching yourself. And then you said, but I also want to be an example. I want to be an example for others that if I can do it, they can do it. See, I'm listening.
Yes.
I'm listening because at this point in my life, I feel that my responsibility and my mission, right, more than my commission that I make in real estate. My mission is to succeed one hand up and one hand down. And that's why when I saw that you put together an event, it caught my eye because I know what it takes to put an event together. I know what it takes to bring people together. I know what it is to wake up morning, noon, and evening and be thinking, are they going to show up? Are they going to show up? And you're just working on blind faith. So
It's tough.
I want to commend you for that. But here's a question. Tell us the truth. What has been your biggest challenge in 2023? What was that one challenge that you were like, it's do or die? Tell us the truth.
Okay. Biggest challenge in my career is balancing my career with my family, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to create a brand, to have an amazing team, to delegate. I think delegating, especially for someone that likes to control everything, was one of the toughest things. And trusting, finding that team that you're like, okay, they got my back, I got their back. I know no matter what happens, we're going to work together. And that perfect balance between family and career, I think that was my biggest challenge for 2023. Because aside from that, to be successful, you have to sacrifice many things. And it takes a lot, because you don't want to sacrifice. You want to be with your kids. You want to be with your family. But I can tell you that my husband is my number one superhero. He's my backbone. He backs me up. He helps me with my kids. There's moments that, I had to miss a dancing event here and there for my daughter. And it's tough, So that perfect balance, that has been very challenging. But it's not impossible, So I think delegation and balance with family and career, that was the toughest thing in 2020.
Oh my God, let me tell you something, Jannett. I've never met you in person, but I want to meet you in person. I was just super proud to see a local Latina in Southwest Florida stepping up and just doing something out of the box, right? And you're speaking my language because when I got into real estate, I have twins, and my twins were very small, but I wanted it so bad. So I'm going to ask you this next question.
Okay.
What fuels your passion? Because I know there's mornings, I know there's nights, I know there's, 3 a.m.s where you wake up and you're like, no puedo más. I can't do this anymore. This is so much. But then the sun rises, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just put one foot in front of the other. What fuels your passion? Because I think right here, right now, in this current market that we're living in, this is your opportunity to rise up like a game changer. I'm telling you right now, I know what I'm talking about. You have what it takes to be a game changer, because there's so many people that are using exactly what you say as the reason why they cannot. And here you are using it as the reason why you have to. But tell us, what fuels your passion? What gives you that next push when you think it's, that's it, I have nothing left, and then once again you start over? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so we all have a why, right? And in my business planning, we all have a why and a mission statement. And first and foremost, my why is my kids. I think I actually started real estate because of my daughter. In 2016, I gave birth to my firstborn, and I was like, okay, I need something that I'm not a slave to, that hours can be flexible. Why not real estate? So my mom's like, real estate, come on, you can do this. So I got my real estate course, 2015, and pregnant, I started, real estate. And that has been ever since. My why was my firstborn, then my secondborn, and then I'm like, I got to do this. So when you're a mom and then you have kids and then you become a broker, you're like, okay. So I think my biggest right now are my children, and then people are looking up to me. So at the end of the day, when you look at it, you're like, okay, I can't quit, because sometimes we wake up, we're human, it's natural. and we're like, oh gosh, I have to go to work, I have to wake up, I don't want to do this. And it's normal. We all have that fear of rejection, or that fear of not making it, or not impacting. But believe it or not, every day you make an impact in someone's life. So if it's not a client, it's an agent. If it's not someone, it's probably someone that you're talking to. So I think that just that you have people behind the scenes watching you is also one of the motivations that you're like, okay, I have to wake up, I gotta do this. God, give me that force and that drive. I got this. So I think for me, 3 important things: my kids, the people that are watching, and obviously God.
Oh, wow. I'm so happy that you came within my radar, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I tell Talia all the time. I am going to surround myself with mega game changers, frontline leaders. If you go back to my videos, you're going to hear me say certain things over and over and over. Frontline leaders, frontline leaders, frontline leaders. And I can identify so much with what you're saying, because when I dared to start my first team, right? It was in 2002. I mean, there were hardly no Hispanics between Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Lehigh. There were only 25 Hispanic businesses, only 25 in 3 cities. And my dream was to become my children's boss. I did not want them to have to work for anybody else. And I didn't even know how I was going to do that. But I would wake up at 6 in the morning, get ready, get to the office by 6:45, work on my files, do all the stuff before my team showed up so that I can focus on the team. And just like you, we can't make it without someone that believes in us more than we believe in ourselves, someone that supports us 1,000%. Talk to me about your number one fan, your husband, because my husband is my number one fan. Like when I was making no money in real estate, he said, I don't care. You're the number one realtor. You're the number one Hispanic realtor in Cape Coral. I don't care if you haven't sold any house. You're the number one. And they will call me the number one. And my friends would laugh at me and say, yeah, you're the number one, but you're the number one in no deals. And today they see me and they're like, wow.
So
tell me about your number one fan.
I was blessed with an amazing husband. He's been my backbone and my rock. I mean, he's the one that sees my blood, sweat, and tears when this all started. Because it's, opening up any business, it's tough. There's so much time, so much involvement. And he was like, don't worry, I'll pick up the kids. I got you. He was always there after hours. It's just so much dedication and things like that. My kids, they adore him. They love him. We have a perfect balance. They know, hey, mommy's out there working. But then, dad is a superhero. So in this case, because he's my right hand, he helps me in everything. So I think that's very important, to have a partner that backs you up and wants to see you grow as much as you want to see him grow. He became a realtor after this, so I inspired him, and he's like, my wife could do this, I could do this. So yes. I think that when you have 2 people that see the same vision, the same goal, you're powerful.
Wow.
So, to him, this was able to revolutionize, because I was able to give as much time and dedication to hustle. So he's my number one fan for sure.
Well, I'm going to let Talia chime in and ask some questions, because I know that you are speaking to Talia's heart. Everybody sees the glory, but they don't know the story. And a lot of times, let me tell you something, Jannett. The tough part about being where I am is that people say, oh, but that's because now you have money. That's because now you've done it for so long. That's because now you know what you're doing. But I love hearing your story, because there's power and there's purpose in your story. So I'm going to let Talia chime in and ask some, real raw questions.
Yeah, so I want to go back because I know Lucy had asked about your biggest challenge in 2023. So, since you are also in the trenches and you are leading other agents, I'm curious, what have you seen the maybe one of the biggest challenge that you've seen with your agents? Like, are they facing anything, and what is that, and how did you help them overcome that?
The biggest challenge when you're a brand new agent, well, especially with my agents, is okay, I'm in this business. How do I make money? I think that's everybody's biggest challenge, because we all become realtors for two things: financial freedom, and another thing is because we want this as a career, right? But then there's that agent that wants it really bad, that will do what it takes to prospect, to get their game together, to say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I gotta do. And then there's the agent that as much as you tell them you to do it, they won't do it. So, as a broker, you give them the leadership, the mentorship. And I think the biggest issue with agents not being successful nowadays is that they don't want to do it. And if you don't do it, as much as you push them, as much as you give them a lead, as much as say, okay, I'm going to have you work on this, let's do it. But if they don't want it, there's nothing you can do. So they can be like, okay, I wasn't successful because of my broker. Wait, your broker pushed you, your mentor pushed you, but what did you do for it? Accountability is everything in this game. And mind you, I'm a broker, but if you see my numbers in production, like, how does this lady do it? But it's the drive and the hustle that you really want. So I tell them, because I can't preach and I can't tell you something to do it, and then my numbers are down in the, down the drain. So my numbers are there. Okay, I'm a mom. I have kids. I'm also a broker. I also mentor. And then what are you doing? So like I tell them, and I think accountability is in this industry is very, very tough.
Yeah.
And you really need to want it, to really sit on that phone to prospect and find that client in order to be successful. And there's not too many that want to do it.
Okay, so your brokerage is called Hustle Bees, right? So what happens when your bees aren't hustling? Like, what do you tell these people? That's a really serious thing.
It is. And this is where you have to sit, because, if my team is not producing or doing what they have to do, it makes me look bad, right? It makes the leader look bad. And this is where you have to sit there and they're like, okay, are you buckle up or I have to let you go?
Let's go.
And it's like that because you dedicate so much time, to the agent. You want them to flourish, you want them to shine, but they don't take advantage. And when you find a good broker and you know what you're pouring into, and then you want them and they don't want it, then it's not worth your time. My coach says it, Jannett. I have a mention a coach that backs me up. And funny story, he's from EXP Realty too. Amazing. I love him. And I talk to him and I tell him, like, listen, and he's like, sometimes you gotta let them go. Sometimes they have to see it the hard way. When they're with another brokerage, they'll be like, yeah, I lost that opportunity that I had. I wish I had that accountability. I wish someone left me accountable. Yeah. And that's where they realize that they have to work, and they work and they do it the hard way now.
Wow. What do you think, Dali? You're hearing it from someone that I didn't have a meeting with her until
Yes.
I've seen it in my 8 years, Talia. I've seen it in my 8 years of experience so far, and that's what we lack. That's what agents lack. You can have the best broker, leader, and mentor, but it's up to you to be successful or not.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have a question because there's a lot of people out there that are trying to put their brokerage together, and I love that. I mean, right now I'm coaching brokers, I'm coaching team leaders, obviously agents, right? And there's people out there that they want to put their team together. They want to put their brokers together, or they have a brokerage and it's not growing. They don't know what to do. I had someone tell me the other day, the only time my agents show up to the office is when we have a party. But when I have a meeting, they don't show up. Tell us a little bit about the raw reality of having to have those hard conversations, because I think the majority of people try to look the other way, right? Like,
Right.
I want to make believe you're not showing up. I want to make believe you're not closing deals because they don't want to lose the few people that they have. So tell us, how do you overcome that hard conversation?
Okay. So again, you said with them, hay un dicho en español. I don't know how to say it in English, but I'm gonna say it.
I'll
This is like,
translate. I'll translate for you.
uno se pone colorado una sola vez. And I learned this from a really good friend of mine, and she said it. That stuck to me. It's true.
You
You
only
get
blush.
you
You
only
only, you
one
only blush one
time.
time. You only blush one time.
And you know, as hard as it is and as difficult it is, the truth is, and I'm going to tell you, not everybody comes into the office. Not everybody wants to be to prospect. That is true. What Lucy says, I think it's a raw reality that a lot of us brokers go through, and it's frustrating. And we want to grab them and strangle them, but we're like, okay, let's just relax. Because we really want it. I guess those brokers that do that you do here, they're like, how do you do this? How do you do that? It's because they really care and they really want agent success. Primarily it's not about them anymore, because at the end of the day, it's not about you anymore. You're behind this, you're past the picture. It's about your company and about your agents, but sometimes you just have to let them go. And hard conversations, I guess, when you sit with them and you tell them, hey, where are you at your career wise? You want to focus on people that are full-time. Part-timers eventually do become full-time when they see the success. And I'm telling you, I have part-time agents that are rock star right now and phenomenal, that I know they're going to quit their job soon. But, if you see an agent, you're working and they're not progressing, that's not on you. We're going to, sometimes we feel guilty, but we're not. It's them, because we're giving them all the tools. If you're seeing that you're coaching 10, right? 10 agents. And from those 10, 5 of them are successful and the other 5 are not. Those 5 are listening and doing what you're telling them to do. But what are the other 5 not doing? They're not accountable. They're not doing what you're doing. So you got to let them go. And they have to venture. They have to explore. And they have to see what's out there. And they're like, okay, that's when they realize, damn it, I lost that opportunity I had in a lifetime. So
I want to respect your time. I want to respect your time. And there's so much I could ask you. And I'm going to ask Alia to prepare her next question. But 3 tips that you would give someone in this market right here, right now. I mean, you said, I've got 2 small kids. You've got all the overhead. You've got all the liability. You've got all the risk. You've got all the responsibility, right? You are under the gun every single day. It's not even like I'm going to show up and I'm going to use a printer and somebody else is paying for it. You have all the liability, the fixed expenses. Your name is on the dotted line. You are under the gun. Speak to our community of agents and tell them, what are the 3 things that you would say are the must for them to make it in this market?
Okay. Important, I think, for any agent is your why. And intentionally, I didn't wear makeup today so people can know who I am. So I was like, this is the raw Jannett, So at the end of the day, your why. You have to be backed up by a why. Most important, why did you do this career? Was it because, financial freedom? Was it, because you want to create generational wealth? Whatever your why was, you need to make sure you put it to the T. Second, your sphere of influence. Target your sphere of influence. When you're a realtor, I mean, sometimes it's crazy that our own people don't even know that we're realtors, because everybody's busy with lives. I think your sphere of influence, and for me, the third one and the most important one is accountability. Have accountability. If you're going to do something, execute the plan and do the action. So if you say, I am going to prospect and I'm going to cold call 10 people, I'm going to door knock, I'm going to do what I'm going to do it. Don't say, okay, I'm not going to do it. Do it. and then you'll see the results. If you do that every day and consistently, trust me, you'll be successful. If you don't do it consistently, you might have 10 no's, but that one yes is gonna come not this week, next week, or maybe in a month from now. And then you're like, all this wasn't in vain. And you'll start seeing. I started like that. That's my story. I started door knocking, cold calling. Now, primarily, and God willing and thankfully, my business is referral based. I would say 80% of it. Why? Because I started one way or the other. And I started like everybody started, prospecting and targeting my sphere of influence.
Wow. Yes, that was really,
Woo!
that was fire.
Say there and say, oh, but it's. I think that's what a lot of agents are lacking. I mean,
Yeah.
it's your drive. It's how bad you want it. I know when I sit in my office, I know the agents already that are gonna make it and the ones that are not.
Wow.
Because you already know who really wants it. And I love when I see an agent that wants it, because it makes me so proud, and it's powerful. You're like, wow, I'm doing this for a purpose. You're impacting the agent's life. You're impacting and making them successful. Again, that's what a lot of leaders need to realize, that once you let your ego go, and your ego, and you're like, okay, it's not about me anymore. Although sometimes you want it to be about you, because you want someone to say, hey, you're doing a great job, or this and that. It's about your agents now. So leaving your ego to the side, focusing on your agents and your brokerage and your success for the agents, that's what makes you a powerful broker.
Wow. Well, definitely this is not going to be the first time you come on Agents in the Trenches. I think that there's so much enlightenment that you can give our real estate industry, especially the realtor industry. There's so many people that are out there lost in a red ocean of chaos and confusion, like I call it. But I just want to say I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you. I commend you for your dedication, for your grit, for your hustle. I commend you for your sacrifice, because I understand the sacrifice. And most of all, I commend you for willing to go through the pain, because you could look for the easy way out. But, your example, your leadership, I mean, Jannett, you're just getting started, girl. So get ready. You're just getting started. I trust me when I tell you, I know. So, Tali, how do you want to put this out?
So I just have one question, and that's it. One more, and it's really simple. It's really simple. Are you coming to our Vision Builders pre-launch event on January 24th?
I really wish. I will be at a seminar in New York. Yes.
That's awesome.
And connect. And I've been looking forward for that. So I will next time for sure.
Yes. It's okay. This is just the first of the year, right? The first event that we're having of the year, and we're going to have many more. So maybe you'll catch us on the second one, which is fine. But I just want to close it off, telling everybody in our audience, on January 24th, we're having a pre-launch Vision Builders event. It's going to be a vision board social. We are opening the doors at 12:30. Event starts at 1 to 5:30, and then we're going to have open networking from 5:30 to 7. So completely free, open to anyone and everyone, whoever wants to come on, network, and just have a good time and hear from incredible speakers that we have. And we're going to be shining light on them really soon with some videos and some more content. So I will post the link below, so you guys have to grab your tickets. They are going fast, so you don't want to miss it out. It's just going to be absolutely fire. So I just want to close it off. Thank you so much, Jannett, for taking the time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Listen, from a 23-year veteran Latina immigrant to this country, woman who got started in this in the year 2000, you are something to be proud of.
Thank you.
I mean, you are something to be proud of. So if I can ever help you, serve you, support you, I'm here, and I can't wait to meet you in person. I can't wait to meet you in
Thank
person.
you.
So everybody that's going to be looking at this, whether you're here on live, and we got a lot of people on live, or whether you're going to see this on replay, go follow Jannett, learn from her story, reach out to her. She's a hustle bee, and she's representing from the front. Thank you,
Thank you
Jannett.
so much. Thank you so much, guys, for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Humbled and honored. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Until next time, guys, catch us at Agents in the Trenches on Friday around lunchtime or after 2, it depends. But catch us next week. We'll be here again. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.